Hey guys, the topic that I'm going to discuss today is about Meg Day. I learned so much from her just in that short point in time of her speaking about different things, different aspects of her life. It's poetry and just the background behind it and stuff like that. I learned about how just the understanding of poetry and the different contexts that's playing. Like she was like talking about the different meters and stuff like that. The different criteria that goes into writing a poetry and adding sound and not adding it and stuff like that. Especially her being a deaf poet, not adding too much sound, but also her version of sound from it. And then she also taught me one thing that really stood out to me, or like I always hear, but hear from a different person's point of view, that education is very powerful. That no one can take your education from you. Like she got all these degrees for herself, but no one can say like, "Hey, you're not this. You didn't go to school for this. We can take this away from you." But when she was talking about the different things of poetry and the different dynamics that the hearing world and the ASL world kind of clash with, like when she was talking about the Ian Sandborn, how he did this poetry in an ASL way, but then trying to interpret it in a word form or English version was so much harder. It didn't get the beauty behind what he was trying to display to the audience, and how hearing people can get the credit from an ASL poet because they physically wrote it down or something like that, but it's not giving the main focus to the ASL poet. Like she was saying about the Poetry Foundation, how the guy wrote the translated version of the caterpillar and stuff like that, and that gave him such good recognition. And then it didn't give Ian Stamber as much recognition, but they were like, oh well, people did view your thing and stuff like that because of this, but the caterpillar ASL poetry stuff was its main focus, but people kind of forgot about that and pushed that to the side. So she really talked about that and then one thing she talked about when she writes poetry and stuff like that, just how she focuses and sits down and write a poem and stuff like that, and how poets are like normal people and how they have to incorporate worldly things that they go through and stuff like that, and just the thought process of a poet and what they have to go through and stuff like that, and also keeping their authenticity and keeping themselves in their meaning, especially ASL poets, like keeping ASL incorporated into it, keeping oralist out of it and stuff like that, and really just focusing on that and signing and everything that's involved into it. So that's like the main focus of it, but that's what I really gained from her, just the depths of poetry and how it's so much different levels to poetry, and how it's not just something that you write down or a movement that you feel, but you really feel it and you really breathe it and stuff like that, and you really make it your own and you try to be different from others. But ASL poets really have to be different from others and stuff like that, and focus on the ASL part of it, not the oral part of it, or try to incorporate both to make sure they get the best of both worlds. So that's what I learned about from Meg Day.